Welcome to ppc.zone August 2022. I'm your host, Jill Saskin-Gales, and I created this event to elevate new perspectives and insights in our industry. Our final speaker in the zone this month is a digital advertising expert with over a decade of success developing high-impact marketing strategies for online retailers and services clients. He's here to share his perspective on one of the hottest topics in PPC right now, making the most of Performance Max this holiday season. If you've spent any time on PPC Chat Twitter, his name will be familiar to you. Please join me in welcoming Menachem Ani.
Thank you so much for having me today. As Jill mentioned, my name is Menachem. I'm the founder of JXT Group. We're a digital advertising agency based on the Jersey Shore here in the USA. And I'm excited to present 7 tips on Performance Max for this holiday season. As Jill mentioned, I've been advertising with Google for a really long time, and Performance Max is probably the largest shift we've ever seen from Google. For me, change is typically exciting because it brings opportunity, and so we'll share our best practices on the campaign type today. If you've been reliant on smart shopping historically, it's a really good idea to get ahead and start testing Performance Max. This is the official timeline that Google has released starting in July. They've been doing automatic upgrades, and your campaigns will be fully migrated by the end of September, even if you don't take any action on your end. So you definitely want to get ahead of that. And now we'll dive into some tips. So first and foremost, as with anything using an automated system, it's really important to give the system the right inputs. And so with Performance Max campaigns, you cannot target specific audiences, but you can provide audience signals. And so some really good ideas for the right audience signals for this holiday season is to use your first-party data, upload your customer list, your high-value customers, last year's best customers, email subscribers. As well as that, you can create custom intent audiences, which are based on like high-level top keywords that have performed well in other areas of your account. Basically give the system a head start on kind of what's important and who's the right customer to target. The second tip for today is just structuring your asset groups correctly. Typically, we recommend building asset groups around product themes or categories. It's a good idea to create an asset group for promotional items around the holiday season. And you'll want to upload all the correct creative images to match the underlying products within the group or any promotional assets. Something important to keep in mind with Performance Max that a lot of people have mentioned is Google will create a video for you if you don't have one. So it's a really good idea to get a good video in place and take advantage of that. You can use the video builder tool, which is released in Google Ads under the asset library. It's definitely a good tool to get something started if you don't have anything better. With anything related to shopping, and especially Performance Max, it's really important to make sure you get your data feed down, specifically focusing on areas that may not come through automatically if you're using a default setup from Shopify or anything like that. You want to make sure you have all your identifiers in place in Merchant Center, which is typically comprised of the brand, the MPN, and the UPC code. Additionally, you want to make sure that your titles are keyword rich, your descriptions are really fully fleshed out, and then categorizing your products in the Google taxonomy and the product type really helps Google understand what the products that you're advertising are and when they should surface it. Again, Performance Max is really reliant on the system understanding the product that you're selling. So this is super important to get right. And then lastly, custom labels are really important in Performance Max, especially so you can segment products into different asset groups or by campaign type. Additionally, for the holiday season especially, you want to really take advantage of the promotional nature of the campaigns. So typically that can be done in a couple of different ways. One is just drop the price in the data feed. The system will recognize if you use that in the sales price column as opposed to just the standard price column. It'll notice a price drop and it will notate the product as such in the search results. Additionally, you can use price extensions on the Google Ads side and promotion extensions with your coupon codes, set them up in both Google Ads and in Merchant Center. Performance Max, which displays ads on search and shopping, it's a good idea to get those ad extensions set up on both sides, both in Google Ads as a promotion extension and in Merchant Center as a promotion. Lastly, when it comes to bids and budgets, you want to make sure that you're providing really good inputs for the system, but you don't ever want to shock the system. Anything that's using automation, it takes time for the system to understand what's working, what's not working. And so this means changing things slowly. And typically, we recommend increasing budgets incrementally over time as opposed to large increases. So the system doesn't have to suddenly start to try to find new audiences or new search terms to bring customers in. And when you launch a new campaign with Performance Max, it's a good idea to make sure the system has enough data. So we typically start out with maximized conversions as your bid strategy so that the system can gather information, see what's converting, what's not, and then slowly move to those performance KPIs using either target CPA or target ROAS so the system can really start to hit your goals. And again, incrementally make adjustments. Don't change anything too heavy, too hard, too fast, because it'll just throw the system off. Something that a lot of folks have been talking about in the Twitter PPC chat community is setting up a smart shopping style campaign. This can work really well, especially if you've seen a lot of success with smart shopping and are being forced to migrate to Performance Max. What this means is you're basically setting up Performance Max without any assets, so that it's forced to run as a smart shopping campaign. It's not exactly the same in everything we've seen, but it's pretty similar. And you'll need to likely create a new asset group, because editing an existing asset group won't allow you to save it without the image in the headline. So you'll want to create a new asset group, and it'll allow you to save it without any of those assets. This is something that we've seen a lot of success in across a lot of our clients. And just kind of flipping to the other side of that, for some of our clients, we have not seen success in like a smart shopping style. We've seen success almost on the other end, which is the paid social style. So using Performance Max, more of a Facebook or TikTok type of ad, where you give it all the assets, the images, the videos, but without your product feed, and just allow it to run ads on YouTube, Gmail, Discover, GDN, using everything except for your data feed. And typically we see a lot of success with these types of campaigns if you've got a product that's more of an impulse purchase. Anything that is a quick and easy purchase, this can definitely work well for. That's definitely something worth testing. And again, with all this stuff, it's a really good idea to start testing now, so you have time to really figure out what works and what doesn't for your brand, for your store before the holiday season. Ultimately, like I mentioned, Performance Max is probably the largest shift we've ever seen from Google, and change brings opportunity. So I like to try to get ahead of it, start testing, and really see what works for your company. As Jill mentioned earlier, the past couple of years, the holiday season has been unprecedented. Shopping has been definitely starting earlier and earlier every year, and it seems that we'll likely follow similar patterns this year, with shopping starting even earlier than usual. Thanks again for joining me today. I appreciate the time to present and share what's been working for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Menachem, for sharing your unique perspective and insights with us in the Zone. If you'd like to connect with Menachem, you can find him on Twitter at Menachem Ani. To learn more about PPC Zone and our speakers, or apply to speak at an upcoming event, visit ppc.zone. I'm your host, Jill Saskin-Gales. You can find me on Twitter at Jill Saskin-Gales. I look forward to seeing you next time in the Zone.